Hi there, my name's Liam, and this is the first video to go up on my new YouTube channel, which I'm going to start recording more of these along with mini blog posts as well, to try and give some background information on them as well. Any links which I'm talking about in the video will always be in the comments, not in the comments, but in the description below. If you have any other questions, please reach out to me. Always happy. Today's video is going to be going through the Active Directory automated script that I've built. It will give a 2012 R2 standard box right up to a fully working domain with all the configuration done. So let's just look at the time now. So we're now starting off. We've only been a couple of minutes of introduction. The script should take around 10 minutes to complete. On average. So yes, that's 10 minutes just to give you a working domain. So once you've logged in, obviously we've got Server Manager launching, we've got the GUI all working, so at the moment it is just a plain box. We can even tell that I've just recently installed this by the win and random string there. But as you can see, I have configured an IP address and a subnet and a gateway, but that is all you need to configure. Okay, so on my GitHub page, again the link will be in the description. You can download and extract the Active Directory configuration script. Now in the config files folder, which I'll just briefly touch on, we've got all the design is basically stored in XML. So if anything you would like to change for your lab or for your production environment, then just adjust. Feel free to go in there and edit. If you are using this for production, I do strongly recommend that you test it and make sure that you are happy with it. This script was built for building labs in a quick, successful way and consistent as well, so that every time you are testing something in your lab, it is always built to the same standard. Anyway, let's get on with this. So right click, start configuration, and run with PowerShell. Now you're entering the local administrator password that is currently in use. The script does check to see if this is a valid password. The reason for this is it enables auto logon so that you have a minimal interface with the script, and it does most of the legwork for you. So we'll go through, as I feel that all domain controllers shouldn't have a GUI and shouldn't have the desktop experience, certainly. So those two things get removed. So not so much just removed, but they also get uninstalled, so you wouldn't be able to add them back again unless you had the 2012 R2 disk. So we'll go through, let that run. Now all the output from this script can be found on your C drive in the AD configuration folder under logs, and we can see here that the prepare server log file is being generated. So now going through installing the role with 2012 R2, it doesn't actually have the facility to promote a domain controller off the cuff like 2003. You install the role first and then you configure the domain. So as you can see now, it's finalizing that removal of the desktop GUI. So we'll just let that run through. Shouldn't take too long to restart as a virtual machine. Now my intention is to not pause or delay the video, is to let the video record at real time to show you how quick this script runs and also give you some explanation. So now the GUI has been removed. It has enabled PowerShell by default and sconfig by default. As we can see now, it's requesting the safe mode password. Safe mode password is the password used when you need to recover your domain controller from a a failure or backup restore. So it's important that you set a very strong password. For my lab, I'm not really bothering setting a strong password, as you can see, but it is advisable that you do. So what it's going to do now is that I've given that is start the installation and configuration of Active Directory on this box. So we are now 4 to 5 minutes into the video and it's already configuring and installing Active Directory. The warnings are very standard and to be expected when installing Active Directory. The standard ones you're getting around DNS, and if you move out of the way I would have been able to read that for you. So as you can see at the moment, the amount of interaction I've had with this script is purely entering in the passwords I need to use. Other than that, it has been fully automated for you. So just let this completely finish. Shouldn't take far too long. Again, those, as I was mentioning about the standard warnings you get, is DNS server and the cryptography algorithms. They're pretty much standard for 2012 R2. Well, the DNS warnings have been there for a long time. Shouldn't be much longer now, and it should start prompting me to restart the box. The great thing is with the PowerShell script is that once you've set those two passwords, the admin password and the safe mode password, you're basically home dry. You can just let the script run, go and grab a cup of tea. All the tools that you require to administer Active Directory will still be available after the restart. So group policy management, Active Directory users computers, the new Active Directory Administration Center, it's all there, and it's all taking this build, shall we say, from those configuration XML files which I showed earlier at the start of the process. Just let this complete. There we go. So now it's finished, it will sign me out because the Active Directory domain services have been installed. This process normally takes the longest to complete, so the restart I would say probably takes a minute rather than 30 seconds. We're now up to about 7 minutes into the video, I would say 7 or 8 minutes, and yeah, we now have a working domain. We now have it configured with no GUI and it's fully functional. However, what it isn't configured is the OU structure, groups, administrative accounts if there is any, and so forth. So the next and final stage of the script is to interject all the OU structure, the security policies, group policy, sorry, ensuring that the domain is fully configured and hardened, ready for production use. And the great thing about using this script for a lab environment is that the group policies are all designed around the CIS benchmarks level 1 for Windows 10 and 2012 R2. So it should give you quite a nice hardened domain, making it a bit more challenging for your pen testing lab. Or if you're just looking to use it for spinning up a couple of boxes, sort of testing a Microsoft product, then you have the security policies in place that you might expect to see on the live environment, meaning that you're not going to have any nasty surprises when you go live with your product or solution and end up finding that there's a user rights assignment that has been altered because of the security policies, or Windows firewall you decided to just disable. Obviously that's a real bad idea, so these policies enforce it to be enabled. So this is the final stage. So what it's doing here is building up the sysvol and preparing the domain basically. So at the moment Active Directory is installed and configured, however the policies and stuff are not populated, so that's what it was doing. So it's now completed, and it's now to the third and final stage. It will create the Active Directory sites, it will go through, create the OU structures as per the XML file, it will delegate any permissions that you want on an OU as per the XML files, it will create the password settings object. The password settings object allows finer control over password settings. So in this case I've created an administrative policy, so it will target all admin users to make sure that they have a 15-character password. It will prompt you and remind you that you've given a username of Scott J to rename the master admin account to. So by clicking on OK, it will log you off and complete the process. So we've now just under 10 minutes and we have a fully working domain, OU structure built, and all ready to go. So if we now log on and have a little browse around, now the first thing it will do, because it used your password to log on, auto log on so many times for security, it will ask you to change your password. Password needs to be 15 characters and complex, so if you're having any frustrations with it not working, that is because you're not using a 15-character password. I'll just do one more, see that. So there we go, so that's now been logged in. So as you can see, Server Manager has been disabled, just because I don't see the point of having Server Manager on a GUI interface. So you can still launch Server Manager because this is minimal mode, but it's not core mode. So there's different types of core. So you've got minimal, which still gives you all the tools and functionality of a GUI, but not obviously the graphical user interface as well. So as we can see on the left hand side here, we've got ADDS installed, DNS installed. You can see that the machine was renamed, joined to the domain, and if we go to our tools, you can see all the required tools for us to work with Active Directory are in place. We go to our domains, push the star on your keyboard and it will expand it all out. However, that mapping is obviously not working for my VM. So as you can see underneath, admins have got their group policy in place. Won't be able to view it in GUI, so there's no Internet Explorer configured. So, got our live machine restrictions, so any new machine joined to the domain without being pre-staged will get dumped into here and locked down. Only machines that have been pre-staged can be joined to the domain. Got all our OU layouts are done with group policy applied, and then all the rest of the group policy objects there, and they're all configured, ready to go, which is great. So if we now take a look at the Active Directory sites, we should see that they're all configured for us as well. We've only got a one domain controller domain, so it won't have a lot on there. We also look at the Active Directory Administration Center as well. I'll show you that. while sites and services is loading. So we can see the sites are done, the subnets are built, everything is just fully configured as you expect. If you go down to System, Password Settings, Containers, you can see the administrative policies applied, and that's what enforced me to have a 15-character password. And I've currently applied it to all the administrative groups, all the roles, shadow groups. Now the service accounts one I will probably split out in the next release of this script, because service accounts, as much as I recommend changing their passwords every 60 days, can be a bit of a problem if you've got essential services running those and password expires and everything stops. So I'll probably split that out to a service account policy where the password does not expire, and as part of the daily checkup scripts, which I'll probably release with this in the future, perhaps have a password reminder to say that the service account's passwords are X days old and should be updated. Okay, well, that is the script. I hope you've enjoyed watching the video. I've just quickly forgot to show you that all the zones are configured as well for scavenging. Something that a lot of people forget to do and then end up with DNS records days and old. All your forwarders are configured as well. But yes, as I said, I hope that you've enjoyed watching the video. You've now got a lab built in under 10 minutes, ready for you to join some machines to the domain, start playing with it. You just need to edit those XML files if you want anything configured differently. And I will look to probably document the design on the wiki part of the GitHub page when I get time. Thanks for watching. Cheers.